Hi, everybody. I don't want to take up too much time and give everyone a chance to log on for a second here. But I want to talk about a few things, and I want to talk about the revolution and how bad do we really want a revolution? How serious are we? How serious are we about an actual revolution? Some of us don't even get along with each other. That's the reality of the situation. We have progressives that are locked into the, what's up, Lisa? They're locked into their own corners to the point that it kills progress. We wonder what kills progress. That's what kills progress. And it started. This isn't nothing that started just now. When this primary first started, at the beginning of this primary, when I endorsed Senator Bernie Sanders, and I shared a meme in this particular Facebook group. I won't name any names, but it was one of the biggest Facebook groups at that time. And the owner of this group now works for the Shield. I will go there. I will say that they work for the Shield. Not only do they work for the Shield, they're actually bashing people who stand up for principles that they once championed for. That's the reality of the situation. They're fighting and kicking people out of their group that once championed the very things that they fought for. My first time, I shared a meme in this particular group. I don't think I really ever mentioned this publicly, but I shared a meme inside this particular group. And I was immediately attacked for sharing a Senator Bernie Sanders meme. The first comment was, who's this Kendall Sullivan character? Has Senator Bernie Sanders endorsed him? That was the question that was actually asked by this particular person. And an admin at the particular time actually responded that Kendall just shared a meme. What did you do? And this particular person said, well, Kendall's just trying to exploit Bernie. So then they had a private message, and before I knew it, I was bounced out of the group. Now, do I want to say what it was about? Well, this is real progressive. So we can say what we want to say, and we keep it real. It had everything to do with race, and it actually hurt me at the beginning of this campaign. Here I am, trying to help Bernie at a time when African Americans didn't know him. Here I am trying to stand up behind the man genuinely, and I still do. Well, I still do. I still stand behind Bernie, except when it comes to him fighting behind Hillary. But here I am standing behind this guy, Senator Bernie Sanders, and trying to help with the movement, and I'm being attacked because I shared a meme at a time when if anyone else shared the meme other than me, wouldn't have got that scrutiny. So then I knew we had problems. It actually hurt it for a minute then because I'm thinking like, wow, I don't want people thinking that Senator Bernie Sanders supporters are like that. And they're not. We just have a few minority crazy people. So this happened to me a few days ago. I was recently added to a particular page as an editor. It was I don't really want to get into what the actual name was, but it was a jail page. No one asked me, they just added me. So I'm thinking like, wow, what is this about? So I decided to do a few live. Well, I done a live stream, and of course, I tagged real progressives in there because that's what we rep. We down with real progressives, and that's where my home is, of course. So after that, before I knew it, I was blocked, deleted, and even the person that actually was my friend on Facebook blocked me and deleted me. I'm thinking like, aren't we on the same side here? But then I start thinking of it in this much larger context. This is not just an isolated situation. A lot of us don't get along with each other, but we want a revolution. And some of us don't even like each other. Like, really, how do you expect to stand up to the establishment, stand up to the Hillary Rodham Clinton, and the establishment, and we can't even get along with each other about the things that we agree on? How? Don't get me wrong. During the civil rights era, Martin Luther King, MLK, of course, they probably had vigorous fights where they disagreed on things. What's up, Sandy? Where they disagreed on things, but they all came back together to a common interest. They all had a common interest, and they did not let that get in the way of what they was actually fighting for. And what I see is us being split up, broken up, watered down, divided. And the power of us together is so strong if we just realize it. It's if we just realize the power of us together, the power of people. There's no amount of money, there's no amount of media that can actually exploit us if we actually stand together, but we can't do it for some reason. We either got our own agenda going on, or we in this for ourselves. We're not actually in it for the movement, or we in it for the cult of personality, or we in it just because we just want something to do, which is which is crazy. Because if you want to find somebody, this is not something you do just because you're bored. It's hard being awake. It's hard talking to people that you know about MMT. It's hard. My connection's starting to get weak. It's hard talking to people you know about modern monetary theory, because they're going to think you're crazy, and you have to be willing to stand up and combat that, because the power of the movement is strong. The power of the movement is real, and people need to know that taxes don't fund government spending, and people need to know that divided we fail every single time without exception, period. So if we can actually stand together, we can take on the establishment, we can change the world, and we can start asking the tough questions. Why are you guys lying to us about the national debt? Why are you guys lying to us and not spending money on the 99%? Us, you and I. Why are you doing that? We can have a $3 trillion guaranteed jobs bill tomorrow. We can cancel the student debt just like they cancel the debt for the crooks on Wall Street tomorrow. We can have universal health care and combat climate change so that our kids don't have to live on a hot planet. We can have that. But you know the reason we can't have those things? One, we not together on anything. We're divided and split on everything. And then second, we continuously let them tell us that taxes fund spending at the federal level. And until we stand up to that, this whole thing is going to go poof in our faces. It will be a waste of time. And that's understatement. It will be a big waste of time. Our dollar hasn't been pegged to gold since 1971. So we have much more domestic policy space that we aren't appreciating. Our dollar is a free floating currency. To get the most domestic policy space, you let your currency float. If you're China, you manage your currency. And at some point, China will actually float its currency, but at the time being, China actually manages currency. And that too can give you less domestic policy space. However, China has an unassailable amount of currency reserve, $3 trillion. So don't get me wrong, when in 1971, you actually had to have so much gold to back your dollars. So you didn't have much domestic policy space to actually get a lot of things done. And what I mean by domestic policy space, I mean things like universal health care, things like a jobs bill, things like programs for you and I, things like climate change, a climate change plan, universal health care, the things that we need to actually be tackling, those type things. But we can't get it done because we don't even know how to, when the elites attack us, we don't even know how to explain it. We don't even know how to combat them. And that's going to kill progress every time. No matter how much we know, if we don't learn how to articulate monetary theory, whole movement goes in flames. Just like that. Just like that. Taxes don't fund spending at the federal level. The federal government does not borrow money from China. Why would the issuer of his own currency borrow money? Hey, China, can we please have some US dollars, please? You see how that sounds? Sounds asinine, doesn't it? If I wrote you an IOU and to borrow a cup of sugar, and I decided that, you know what, I need another cup of sugar. So do I actually come back to you guys and borrow that IOU back? No, I would just write another IOU. Simple as that. Simple as that. Same thing in the game of Monopoly. In the game of Monopoly, it says the banker can never run out of money. So if the banker does run out of money, what does it say in the rule book, guys? And this can be backed up research. You guys go look at the rules for Monopoly. It says that the banker can write down as much money as it needs on regular pieces of paper. Think about that. So what did Alan Greenspan tell Congressman Ryan when he said that don't we have to cut Social Security because it's going bankrupt? Alan Greenspan said no. There's nothing preventing the federal government from doing whatever it wants. There's nothing preventing the federal government from creating as much money as it wants and giving it to someone. A direct quote from Alan Greenspan, former chairman of the Federal Reserve. His words are direct quote. Taxes don't fund spending. We got to actually we actually have to take this seriously. Taxes don't fund spending. Do you guys want a revolution or not? If you want a revolution and you're gonna still continue to talk about wars being put on the credit card, if you're gonna still be talking about we drowning in debt, just go home because you're wasting our time. Matter of fact, we should all go home if that's what we're gonna do. Because if we're gonna continuously treat the economy as if we on an outdated gold standard, then there's no room to get anything done. It doesn't happen. It's not gonna work. The elites are gonna continue to tell you that we're broke. That's what they're going to tell you. They're going to continue to tell you that we're broke and drowning in debt and we owe China all this money. By the way, if China ever did actually want us to pay its bonds back, guess what we'll pay those bonds in? You got it, U.S. dollars. Just print more. You only have to worry about inflation when you have an economy when you have a full job, when you have an economy with a full job growth, and you have a trade surplus. Do we have a trade surplus? Hell no. Do we have a lot of private debt? Hell yeah. Do we have a trade deficit? Of course, about $500 billion. We need to be spending money. If you look back at every single situation where our deficits were too small, below 3.1% GDP, we ended up with a recession without exception every single time. A national debt is like a surplus to the economy. The national debt is like private sector surpluses. See what I'm saying? Because that means that money that went out of the government went into the economy to someone's hands. But when you get out there like Bill Clinton, when you get out there like Hillary Rodham Clinton and start bragging about how Bill Clinton balanced the budget in the 90s, just know that he actually balanced the budget by destroying the economy. Just know that he actually just took money out of the economy. That's not what you call we don't want a balanced budget. We want a balanced economy. You see the difference? We don't want a balanced budget. We want a balanced economy. How do you know how much money that you need to spend? How do you know how much money you need to actually keep into the economy? Maintain your sector balances. Do we have a lot of private debt? Hell yes. Do we have a trade deficit? Hell yes. We can spend and spend and spend until we get to our economy is actually working at full capacity. And it's never going to work at full capacity the way we're doing now. Talking things like balanced budget amendments and cutting spending and slashing spending and all this raising taxes. We're going to raise together. We got to raise taxes to pay for it. I was once one of those. Don't get me wrong. I do hate hearing Republicans say can't raise taxes on the job creators. I mean, I get it, but if we can get those people to come on board, if we can get those people to understand modern monetary theory, to let them know that we don't actually have to raise their taxes, I think we change the world without exception. Period. Without exception, we change the world. If we can convince conservatives to come on board, yeah, we don't have to raise your taxes. Do you guys still want universal health care for your kids? Do you guys want your kids to go to a free college? Do you want your kids to have access to college without drowning in debt after they graduated? I'm pretty sure they will be open to it. But it's all about, we first got to stick together. But if we can't come together amongst each other, you can forget talking to the Trump people. You can forget it. That's going to be like trying to talk to, I mean, if we can't agree on anything within ourselves, within our own circles, how the hell can we talk to a Trumper? How the hell can we talk to the establishment? We can't even make our argument to them because we can't even get along with each other. We're too busy singling each other out, attacking each other, when we all should be under the same plane. You know what the elites are doing? They're just sitting back laughing, watching us. They sit back saying to themselves like, whew, whew. They actually on to us, but they too stupid to stand together, so let's just stand back and watch them fight. That's what we're dealing with. That's what we're dealing with. They standing back watching us fight. The same thing, the way they dupe us by saying, you know, we're going to vote for the lesser of the two evils. And when we do that, they sitting back watching us like, you know what? We can get these guys to Trump every election cycle and make sure we have a neoliberal like Hillary every election cycle and make them vote for them every election cycle. They will get scared and vote for them without exception. They will bet money on it. You know what, guys? To be honest with you, hell, I would even bet money on it. I would even bet money on it. If Trump becomes president, there's no doubt in my mind that the vote blues will come out in droves, just block him on every single issue. Period. If Hillary Rodham Clinton becomes president, there's no doubt in my mind that the vote blues will come out in droves and defend her and make excuses for her on every single issue. I would even bet money on it. Period. And when she tries to take us to war, I can hear them now. Well, you know, she has a well thought out plan. We kind of got to do it. And we're gonna kind of be, and then our anti-war movement becomes split down the middle. That's what's gonna happen. So, my whole point of doing this stream was like, if we're not gonna like stick together and work with each other together, what are we? We might as well go and play spades or something. You know, go watch football. I love football. Not to say I don't, but we might as well go do something else with our time, unless we're serious about a revolution. Because we got to be in this for the long haul, folks. And one thing I have to mention before I go, after the election, is when we actually have to be at full throttle. Because after the election, people goes back to their corners. People go back to not really caring anymore. We got to keep these issues hot and front center. We have to. MMT, modern monetary theory. We got to talk about this. We got to keep this going. We got to stay. That's what we're going to do right here. Real progressives. We're going to continue to keep the conversation going. We're not going to just stop talking about the conversation because an election will be over. That's not why we're here. We're not here just for an election cycle. We're here for the revolution. We're here for the values that we stand for. We're here for those that came before us that we owe a debt to. That's why we're here. Because if we can't stand up for those that came before us and risked their lives and died for us, then we're not even fit to we're not even worthy. Period. We actually have to stand up for what we believe in. If you can't stand for your values, you don't stand for anything. You don't stand for anything. Stand for something. Don't be afraid to be alone. Don't be afraid to have to walk down a path alone. That's what this is all about. Because somebody risked their life to walk down a path for you. The least you can do is be willing to risk being an odd person out. We do it every day. We do it every day with real progressives. We do it every day here. You think when we tell people that taxes don't fund spending, that they take that conversation and be open-minded about it? You have a few people that do, but you have a lot of people that don't. But what we do, we keep pushing forward. We keep pushing forward. And then we teach someone else. And then we keep that knowledge spread. I'm still learning. You know what I'm saying? We just keep going. We get one person to tell a friend, and that person tell a friend. We have to spread this movement. Economic justice. That's what MLK's next fight was before he was killed, was economic justice. That's where it's at. This is all fight. Economic justice, taxes do not fund federal spending. It's time that we push this argument, and we need to get this argument to the mainstream. I'm not going to stop talking about it. I'm not going to stop being a student of the game, a student of economics. We have to continue to do what they said couldn't be done. Let's not only do what they said couldn't be done, but let's embarrass them and show them exactly how far we can go. The power of our movement is real. Our unity is strong. If we stand together, there's nothing in this world that we can't achieve. I'm Kenneth Sullivan, and I'm going to leave it there. Have a great day, guys.